Today's interview is with American Financial Group. Hey, happy Thursday. So I was cracking up a minute ago because her daughter gets her stuff.
My daughter has been going through my closet and it's like, oh my God, this is really cute. Vintage.
Vintage.
Like, oh
We're
God.
vintage now. We're vintage. What the heck? So isn't that hilarious? Because look, I'll post this later. This is us circa 1995, 96-ish, so good 25 years ago. You had the bangs. Bangs or Botox? Which should I do? I'm asking, bangs or Botox? A little bit cheaper to do bangs. But this is one of the legendary parties that Jim Utterback would throw.
Right.
Back at Century 21 Action. Now that's vintage.
Yes.
And he would bring, he brought like a Jaguar there, and he'd want us to get into this prosperity mentality so that we would sell.
Yep.
And then he would, and he's like, my job is to get you guys in debt so that you'll sell to make your payments.
He actually did that, and I actually bought my first car when I started there.
Yeah. Aww.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was the payment. I got scared, but hey, I got over that.
I remember my cell phone at that time. It was like, it was vintage flip phone. It was hilarious.
I think we still have one at home.
Do you?
Yeah.
You ought to show it to your daughter. Say, I'm going to trade you the iPhone for this vintage flip phone. See what she says. But anyways, this is something I always forget to do. I'm Maria Marshall with the Westwood Real Estate Group, and this is Cindy Tran of American Financial Group. We're groupies. And as I told y'all in the past, is we're going to show you the kind of the sales, the thing that happened during a sale. Because some people will just say, I got a sale.
Right.
But what the heck happened before? Right?
Right.
So many steps. And in this particular case, the escrow that I just opened with my client, this couple ever,
right?
I think I met them in February.
Yeah, we did. We actually, I met with them in February also. We kind of ran their credit. They had a little issue working on their credit. So I was just helping them out as far as cleaning up their credit.
Why is the credit score important?
Because that's where most of the banks will cut you out, where your rate starts from where your FICO score is.
And so the interest rate, and of course before I got into real estate I didn't know what all this meant. Your interest rate is what it costs you to borrow the money, because nobody has $400,000 in the bank to buy a house, so they have to go to a mortgage broker or a bank to get a loan. Now there's a reason I use a mortgage broker, because sure, you can walk into a Wells Fargo or a B of A and you get their product. Most people don't fit into that box.
No.
Some people have credit issues, some people have, they're self-employed.
Right.
And so I use a broker who can shop around to the different banks. So we met with them, working on their credit, and then what?
So, you know, I mean, it was a few months, but then they decided that they wanted to shop around, right? So I was fine with that, because I knew their credit was the issue. So they shopped around, right?
And tell them the truth.
So, and then of course they, you know, shop around for a new agent and a lender.
Fired me. I should post the text. She's like, oh, we just let you know that we're going with another agent. And I was like, okay, well, I understand, no big deal. I said, but I'm always trying to improve my business. Can you tell me, was it something that did? Oh, no, and it's probably not going to be for another year. So I was like, okay, well, can't make people do what they don't want to do.
Exactly.
And then a month later,
Maria called, oh my
God, they're back. Well, and she even said, I'll never let you go again. It was so sweet. Because it's really easy to get your license, right? And so there are kind of sharks in every business,
right?
Almost especially this, and sometimes agents will tell you, you must use me and you must use my lender or it's not going to happen. And trusting people get messed around that way.
Yeah.
So they came back. And then what?
So they came back, of course, she said she got pre-approved with another lender. I was okay with that, and I mean, I based on what I had, so we just went with that. But the thing on this was the lender that she chose, or whoever her other agent was did not disclose anything to her as far as the rate, as far as monthly payments, and what type of a loan. I'm like,
I know, we would have looked at a house.
Like, hello.
She's like, hey, I found this house. I'm like, that's cool. She's like, do you mind showing it? Of course, it's nothing personal. And I said, so here's your pre-approval letter. I go, are you comfortable with your payments at the maximum? She's like, I don't know what my payments going to be. She said he won't tell me. I go, what? I said, listen, It doesn't matter it matters to me what lender you use, but we don't do kickbacks, we don't get any preferential treatment. But what I know is that if Cindy tells me you can buy, I know you can buy. So use who you want, but she'll give you the payments. And so I texted her, I said, what's the payment gonna be on this? And that right there was revelatory to them that, you know, this was the dynamic duo they should.
Right, so I mean, she kinda got, you know, a little bit payment shock there when I told her what she didn't want to hear. But as far as where her credit was, it made a big difference where her credit was and then her credit now. So when I reran her credit, once she got into escrow, their FICO score actually went up, and it gave them going from a 4.25% down to 3.5%.
I mean, come on, right?
And that made a big difference in payment wise.
I want to say that the other lender was qualifying him at 4.1 or 4.2 or something like that. It was up there, and a lot of lenders are, we know they're everybody's in. We do our jobs to make money, but they'll hide things, they'll hide fees, and they'll give you a higher rate saying that the reason was because of you, when really they're wanting more money for themselves.
Exactly. So yeah, so now they're in escrow and they're super happy, super excited.
They are.
Right? So yeah.
We found them a fabulous place. They couldn't be happier. This particular property, it's FHA, and most buyers in the under 625, most first-time buyers are FHA buyers, which means that it's a government-backed loan. And this is also a condo, so the condo complex has to be FHA approved. However, they're now doing spot approval, something we can talk about later. And the FHA approval runs out at the end of the month. So, Cindy, can you do this? What's the payment? Can you close by the end of the month? And the answer was yes to all of those things, so they took our offer. And now you've locked them in at
3.5%.
So much better, a lot less of a shock.
Right. So she's comfortable with the payments now. It's 30-year fixed, so she's totally excited.
And by the way, there were 5 offers, and
Maria got them in.
You know why? We wrote a love letter.
Oh.
So we not only were they impressed when they walked into the open house, the agent's partner was so impressed with the family in general, which I was too. The husband likes to bake bread.
Wow.
So I told him he owes us. And the kitchen was fabulous. It was all dialed in. And not only that, the dues were $258, and the other one they were looking at were like $412.
Wow, yeah.
So it's just all the things that the agent and the lender have to do in preparation for you to get your home, and to make sure 2 weeks from now, oh wait, there's no laundry in here, or oh my goodness, it's not FHA approved. So there are all these behind the scenes things going on before you even make an offer. And now that we're in escrow, we're rolling along. She's so excited. She texts me with happy faces and a dancing baby emoji. And next thing is she's going to order an appraisal. And what does that do?
The appraisal will give us the value of what the property's worth. So we'll have it by next week and loan approval. So we're going to get them in before Thanksgiving.
So we worked on their credit. They went away. We got them back. We got them locked in, and we got an offer. We got it accepted. We got them locked in. All the protections are in place. We've already done our inspection. We haven't found any issues, so we're moving forward on the fact, and we'll talk about inspections in another video. And now she carefully watches the rates, finding the day to lock them in. And the next thing is an appraisal, because an appraiser is hired by the bank. The bank doesn't want to. If we offer, let's say we offer $525. And the bank says, you know what, this is not worth $525, it's maybe worth $515. They don't want to make that bad loan. They don't want to get the property back. And so then it's up to the buyer's agent and the seller's agent to start negotiating again. And generally they'll come down to what the value is. But again, we're protecting the buyer, protecting the buyer, protecting the buyer. And once that appraisal comes in, the next step is going to be all the disclosures, and then finally you'll do so you get your appraisal, you've got your pre-approval. What's after that?
Once the appraisal comes in, their underwriter reviews it, and then the loan's approved, and we're prepping up to get final loan docs. Final loan docs will disclose their rate, what their monthly payments, the appraisal, everything that we have talked about from step 1 to step 10 will get disclosed. So they'll sit with the notary to sign the loan docs.
Back in the olden days, it took like days, like 2 days
days.
between every step. Now, send email, they print them out. Sometimes it can close and record in the same day. And we were talking to Holly about special recordings and all of that. And again, a lot of the point is, of course, to introduce you to Cindy and let you know the steps, but just to let you know, it's not like, hey, we just made an offer, and here's my check. It just doesn't work that way, does it?
No.
And we're gonna, when I post this video, I'll put lots of filters so we can get rid of
The rings.
those are wisdom lines.
What?
Yeah. So, and in closing, any advice to the people in YouTube land?
Well, you know what? If you don't think you can buy, you can't. You just have, you know, your first thing is just to have your credit checked. Regardless if you don't want to rent it or not, get Credit Karma, or, you know, they give you a free credit report every year. So call TransUnion, Experian, and just get a copy of it just to see where your score is at. And if you don't have any credit, go apply for a secure credit card or have someone co-sign with you, because credit is the banks. It's the key to what we looked at the most. It's
right.
just, you don't have to have a whole lot, but one or two would work.
And what she means by that is a bank is going to give you a mortgage, but they're going to see what kind of risk you are, and that's going to be based on, are you paying your bills on time?
Yes.
Do you pay your bills? Do you have things that need to have an explanation letter?
Right.
I had one that closed last month, and it turned out that the husband had a $9,000 franchise tax board lien against him. So my client, who was the seller, was like, we've been divorced for 12 years.
He wasn't aware of it, you see?
She had to pay it to close it and handle it later. Now, what if we had handled this before? It's things like this that we need to do to make sure that it's clear. You're not like a good friend of mine, Kiri Edmead, used to say, you on the phone, talking, trying to get Simi to come in the office. Don't worry, you're not going to leave the office with the house. The reason I say that is it's not like buying a car and driving away.
Right.
There are so many protections in place for the buyers, the sellers, and the bank. And that's why you need a realtor, and that's why you need an agent to make sure you're protected.
Right.
And we'll check in. Hey, she got them locked in?
Well,
We're ready to go?
Happy. We'll let you know once they close.
Sounds good. And if we could get our technical assistant to come and shut the video off, that would be
Have a
good.
Happy holiday.
No, Merry Christmas. Oh, holiday. Yeah, Thanksgiving first. Yeah.
That's right.
We're so excited. Yeah.
Just
Are you going to make a
turkey
turkey?
right here.
You're not going to make a turkey?
Oh, eat it.
I'll make you some.
Are we ready for pho?
We're ready for pho. Like and subscribe. Wait, I'm supposed to point. Like, subscribe to my YouTube. Like, you know, it's daily struggle being a blonde. Y'all wouldn't understand it, okay? So, once again.
But I know the real.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Bye.